What is one of the dumbest things you've done when your brain was on autopilot? Was brushing my teeth and went to throw something away but ended up spitting all over the floor instead. Once put toothpaste on my razor and very nearly put it in my mouth before the gears in my brain screeched to a halt and the warning sirens went off. I now keep my razor in the shower, far away from my toothbrush. You missed out on a minty fresh shave though. Personally, I wax my teeth. Once I used eye wash as toothpaste and when it realized it wasn't toothpaste I spit it out. Then put it back on and made the same mistake again. Wake up in the middle of the night to take a pee, then just autopiloted into my morning routine. It wasn't until after I drank my coffee that I realized it was only 3 a.m. and that I wasn't going to be able to go back to sleep. I took a nap after work. Woke up at 7 p.m. and the sky was about the same color it is in the morning. I went into immediate autopilot and made coffee, packed my lunch, and realized what I'd done when I was halfway downtown. Did the same thing as a high school senior during the winter, only noticed it was 2 a.m. and not 7 when I started my car. Best part, it was a Saturday anyways. Rip your clothes off professional wrestler style and dive from the door into bed. I've gotten in my car on the weekends to go somewhere and gone on autopilot and realize it as I'm pulling into my work's parking lot. I'm like, why the frick did I drive to work? I've had similar experiences. I had 3 jobs for a while, and occasionally I'd get dressed for the right job, then drive straight to the wrong one and not realize it until I'm at the door. Or answering the phone at job A with job B's greeting. Imagine calling a Pizza Hut and getting the suicide hotline greeting. Or the other way around. Hello, this is Pizza Hut. My boyfriend just broke up with me, and I plan on hanging myself. Do you want breadsticks with that? I put my dirty plate in the freezer instead of the dishwasher. Dishes on hard mode. Gotta get those tough stains out somehow. Went to the gym. Walked right past the desk where you check in and get a locker key. Walked into the locker room. Stood in front of a locker and was absolutely puzzled about what to do next. I can hear a buzz sound, like you get in a video game. Then a screen pops up, missing locker key. In an adventure game it'd be more like, it's locked, what do I do now? I went inside the gas station. Paid, then drove off. Twice. Didn't even fill up. Just drove away. I've done the same thing going through the drive-thru a time or two. Pay for my food. Get my receipt. Drive off. Turn around and go back for my food. I used the key fob from my car to lock my refrigerator. Yeah, I don't know either. Did it work? Dials 911 on the microwave. I was a kitchen employee at Arby's when I was 18. We used to have sub rolls that were foot-long, but the only subs we sold were 6-inch. So you had to cut each roll in half before you used it. I was just zoned out one day, and I ended up cutting the sub roll in half, putting the knife back in the sub roll bag, and then trying to use the sub roll to cut the next sandwich. My manager saw it and freaking died. Imagine being a customer and seeing your employee trying to cut bread with bread. I used the breads to destroy the breads. That's freaking amazing. Waited at a stop sign for 5 minutes thinking it was a red light. I was not on my phone. I didn't hold anybody else up, luckily. Reminds me of the old saying, drunk drivers are more likely to run a stop sign. Stoned drivers are just gonna wait for the sign to turn green. Your drive instructor would be proud. I was working fast food and taking orders both inside and for the drive-through. I took someone's order inside at the counter and told them to pull forward to the second window. While on autopilot, goes outside and stands at the window. A couple of weeks ago, I was driving home, but instead of going to my current house, I drove to my old house. I haven't lived there in over 5 years. I pulled into the driveway and luckily I realized what I had done before I actually got out of the car. I can just imagine you entering the house while some family, going about their day, looks up at you in absolute confusion. What's for dinner? I've done something similar too many times. I work as a truck driver and with my brain on autopilot I have several times driven to the wrong business. I drive locally so we are not talking big distances. Gotten the pallet of my truck and then realize I'm in the wrong place. I've then had to put the pallet back on my truck and drive away. Usually with people working there witnessing it. I had a dislocated knee and kicked a soccer ball that was coming towards me. Did it hurt? Was holding my phone and ice cream in a cone. Phone rang, answered ice cream. A sticky ear is surprisingly uncomfortable. Passes ice cream over to person. It's for you. Early morning. I was about to put mouthwash on my toothbrush but I caught myself and I was like, "Nice try, brain," and put them back. Then, I grabbed the toothpaste and squeezed it on my palm. I can see the "nice try, brain" and then continuing to F up. Like, "Nice try, huh, smart ass. Try this." Drove 17 miles past my interstate exit before I snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Continuously jammed my work key into my house door. My work key is a big silver one and my house key is one of those picture ones with a bunny on it. I tried to click my house door open with my car keys on more than one occasion. Thank God. I'm not the only one who does this. And my car has range. So it literally takes my lights flashing a couple times before I look around to make sure my neighbors didn't see. My brother ordered nachos at a Mexican restaurant. Grabbed a chip and proceeded to watch himself dip it into his tea. After about 2 dips, he came back into reality. Shook his head and went, "What?" My mother is an EMT. After a 24-hour shift she came home and tried to unlock the front door with her car keys button and did that for about 5 minutes. I once drove to work when I was supposed to drop my younger brother off at school. Neither of us seemed to notice until we got to my workplace and I had turned around. He was late. Little bro noticed for sure. He just wanted to skip class. As someone with no natural sense of direction, it is entirely possible he doesn't keep track if he isn't driving. Flipped my Kindle over to read the other side of a document. The reverse millennial. Tore open a sugar packet, poured it directly into the trash. Tossed the empty paper packet into my coffee. I've done this too many times to count. Making coffee before you had your coffee is a sport. I was folding my freshly laundered bed linens while simultaneously putzing around the house. I don't know what to tell you, but somehow I was folding a pillowcase. Then the next moment, I couldn't find it anywhere. And I looked everywhere, my very tiny home. It wasn't in the folded pile, it wasn't in the closet. It wasn't in the bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen where I putted around while folding said laundry. It still haunts me and I'm going to find that effing pillowcase even if it kills me. Did you check the trash? If it ended up in the trash, you'll never find it. This is one of my biggest rules. If you can't find it, check the garbage can before it's too late. Swiped up on a paper magazine like it was a screen. This is what boomers imagine children do with books these days. What's a computer? Put a dog biscuit into the washing machine instead of a detergent pod. And fed the Tide Pod to your dog. Dogs aren't dumb enough to eat Tide Pods. People, on the other hand. I have a dog with fluffy white hair. Think poodle-ish. I was on the couch petting and talking to my dog for a good while when I see my wife come down the stairs. Trailing behind her was my dog. I had been petting a Costco fuzzy white blanket the whole time. I wish I could say it only happened once. Ha 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 ha, this is hilarious. Can't imagine what it must have looked like to your wife, you being all, who's a good boy, and kissy-facing with a goddamn rug. You have no idea. Now, anytime my wife sees anything remotely white and fluffy she says, who's a good boy? Had a drink in my hand and dumped it out because I checked the time on my watch. My boss did this. But he was drinking coffee and sitting in a chair. He went home to change his pants after that. God, I love smartwatches and the havoc they create. I poured soda into a bowl. Coca-Cola. I did that once into a bowl of cereal. I meant to get the milk. Instead I got a 2-liter of Diet Coke and poured it onto my cereal. I didn't realize what I had done until I ate some.